$493 per month, $3,400 per year, 6% and 1%. Thank you very much. I have all the details and what you need to know about these numbers right here in the video, so let's get right into it. All right, now in this video, I'm going to be talking about 4 separate reports that just hit the wire today that give further explanation into what these numbers actually represent. I think you're going to be a little bit shocked, but at the same time, I don't think you're going to be surprised at all. So let's get into it and discuss all the details of these reports and what these numbers actually mean. However, really fast before we do, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure to subscribe by hitting the button right down below the video. As I'm watching all of this very closely, I'm doing all the research and breaking it all down into these short videos so you can stay updated with what is actually going on right now during this very busy time and as things are changing very rapidly. So again, thanks so much for joining me. Please make sure to subscribe down below and let's get into it and talk about all of these reports one by one here, and let's see, are you shocked or are you surprised, or is this not even surprising anymore? Let's be real with ourselves. Nothing at this point is surprising to us for the most part, right? It is weird with everything going on. Anyway, let's talk about these reports one at a time. All right, so a new report that was just released today after that very high inflation data report that was released this morning is coming out showing that the average household, and again, the average household throughout the entire month of June spent an extra $493 every single month on the same old things that we always buy. This is actually kind of interesting because this number has been gradually moving up throughout the entire course of this year. So way back in February, it was less than $300 a month that the average household and family was spending every single month to buy the same old things. Now, this is actually compared to 2018 and 2019 when inflation was 2.1%. Well, here we are in mid-2022, and inflation is now 9.1%. Inflation is 7% higher today than what it was just in 2018, 2019. Realistically, inflation today is higher than it has been for many decades, right? Usually inflation is around 2 to 2.5, maybe 3% during a hot time, but that's not even all that common. Usually it's around 2 to 2.5% inflation. As of this morning with that new report, like I talked about in that last video just a short time ago, we are now at 9.1% on an annualized basis. That's hot, very hot, right? So anyway, what a sad situation. This report is showing nearly $500 more going out the door at the average household just to buy the same old things that we always buy. I'm pretty sure we all have something better to do with an extra $493 per month versus just blowing it into the wind on the same old things that we always buy. I don't know. I find that to be a really sad report, but that's the reality that we're currently living through right now because of all this inflation. All right, next, let's talk about another report that just hit the wire today as well. This number is representing $3,400 throughout the course of the entire year. Now, what is this? Actually, this goes all the way back to January of 2021. So I guess technically it's about a year and a half so far. So let's just call it a year and a half to be totally fair. This goes back to January of 2021, and it basically says since then, so the last 18 months or so, the last year and a half, people have essentially lost $3,400 of income simply because of everything going on and this inflation. So if you were getting paid, basically $3,400 extra today, it'd be the exact same as if you were getting basically the same, not that 2 years ago or a year and a half ago. So incredible. Once again, because of this inflation and all of these rapidly rising prices, it's essentially equivalent to about $3,400 of lost wages or income, right? Just over the last year and a half. Again, that's incredible. The report that I was reading on this was actually saying that some people live on $3,400 a year just to spend on food. So just this one little adjustment alone could be the entire year food balance or, food allowance for some people. What a sad situation. Seriously, again, money that is just evaporating into thin air for no good reason, right? Inflation. Great. We all love it. Our favorite word of the year. Inflation. You know how at the end of the year, every year, like the end of December, early January, something like that, there's always these, news stations and stuff like this that come out and like reflect on the previous year and talk about, different things that happened throughout the course of the year. I feel like next year in early 2023, when they come back and do one of these like little, timeline things or like a little roll where they show pictures and stuff, I mean, they should just run a camera roll of just inflation, just the word big inflation words all over the place. I mean, seriously, that is like what's going on this year. Seriously, what else is really going on? Increased prices. Maybe that's what they could do. They could have like a little slideshow of prices like on a grocery shelf going from like $1, $1.25, $1.50, $1.75, $2, $2.25, and just keep going up and up and up throughout the entire course of the year. And then finally, by the time they get to the end of the year, it'll be like $7, right? Because that's kind of the reality that we're dealing with right now. Seriously, unreal. All right, next, another report that was released today from a very prominent economist is suggesting the only way that we can bring this inflation down is by seeing a big, deep, severe economic contraction. In other words, this economist is also suggesting in order to bring inflation back down and to bring it into a more realistic approach here, unemployment would need to hit 6%. Now, this is kind of interesting because we just got the non-farm payroll, as in the jobs number, on Friday of last week. And here's what it showed. It showed that the jobs report, the unemployment rate is still sitting at 3.6%. It's been sitting at 3.6% for a number of months now, the vast majority of this year. So we would need to increase the unemployment rate by 2.4% in order to reach a minimum of 6% unemployment in order to just bring this inflation down. So in other words, that's a lot of people. 2.4% of the workforce, which is about 170 million people strong. That's a lot of people, right? So again, what is the math on that? 7 to 4, it's like 4 million people, roughly. Again, that's just kind of some really rough mental math. I did some rounding there. That's like 4 million people would need to be laid off, done, out of your job. That would bring the unemployment number of people up to over 10 million people once again. That's not good. That's a bad situation, right? So anyway, this may be the reality going forward, which, by the way, the economist that I'm talking about is Larry Summers. He's the economist that was actually directing under Bill Clinton and President Obama, and he's been the one the whole time raising the flags and telling President Biden, if you do this, inflation is going to go off the hook right now with all this going on. Well, nobody listened, and sure enough, Larry Summers was 100% correct this entire time, saying, watch out, inflation is going to get really, really bad. Well, this is him also coming out saying right now, we need to see unemployment at about 6%, and we need to see a major economic contraction in order to bring this inflation down. Which realistically, if you've been watching any of my stock videos, investing videos, market videos, or Federal Reserve type videos, I've been saying that. Watch out. This stock market is going to get whacked one of these days. So I'm saying that, and again, which, by the way, quick side note, if you happen to watch my video from last Thursday, it was the day before the jobs report came out. I said, tomorrow, I would anticipate the market's going to sell off. Well, guess what? It didn't sell off on Friday, but guess what it's been doing all this week? It's been selling off. Good thing I entered those short positions on Thursday. They're sitting pretty nice these days. So anyway, I'm still short, by the way, just in case you're curious. So anyway, I plan on holding those a little bit longer, but again, I'll keep you posted. Whatever happens here. But, I'll keep you posted on that. All right, next, let's quickly talk about 1% now. What is this 1%? Well, it's now suspected that the Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rates by a full 1 percentage point or 100 basis points with their next meeting here in about 2 weeks from right now. So they're going to have their next FOMC meeting, and they'll be coming out of that, and it is now anticipated with over 60% likelihood that there's going to be a raise of interest rates of at least 1%, which, by the way, their last meeting in mid-June actually garnered a 0.75% interest rate hike, or 75 basis point interest rate hike. That was the biggest hike that they've done since 1994. So 28 years ago was the last time that they hiked that aggressively. And it's anticipated that they might do a minimum of 75 basis points once again, and there's over a 60% likelihood that they're going to do 100 basis points. That's a lot. That's pretty aggressive, right? So we'll have to see what happens here out of the Federal Reserve. But this inflation is nuts. I mean, it is nuts, nuts, nuts. There's no other way to say it. There's no other way to explain it. This inflation is off the hook. I mean, seriously, I don't know what else to say about it right now. This should not be happening. This is unbelievable. Nothing should be moving up or down this fast. And when it's caused by inflation, and which, by the way, sometimes we hear out of the administration and out of the, a variety of different people saying, oh, this is all because of gas prices. No, it's not. If we look into the internals of all of this inflation, a lot of it is from literally across the entire board on everything. You can pull out anything. For example, paper towels. Paper towels, yes, paper towels were up over 2% last month. Yes, unbelievable, right? Food was up 1%. Eggs are up 33% over the last year. For example, electricity is up over 13%. Used cars up over 12%. New cars, again, over 12%. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I mean, seriously, the most basic items are up 1%, 1.5%, 2%. So no, this is not all about gas. Not all about gas at all. There's a lot of other things that encompass all of this inflation, and it's not all about gas, even though we like to, point our finger at gas and say it's all about the gas prices. No, gas does play a role in the inflation. Don't get me wrong. Yes, it does play a role, but by all means, it does not cause all of this inflation. Everything is up. But if you've been watching my videos here on the channel for any length of time, you knew this because, as I've been talking about for a while now, gas prices translate into virtually the price of everything. Why? How do all these products, how do all of these goods, how does all of this food that we buy at our stores, how does it get there? It gets there by a semi, right? Or it gets there by some type of, fossil fueled operated vehicle, right? A semi, some kind of vehicle that burns either gas or diesel, most likely diesel. Therefore, as a result of that, as gas prices go up, as diesel prices go up, as all of these things go up, then the price of everything goes up because now these stores have to pay more because of transportation. And then, of course, they need to pay more for labor because they need to pay their people more because it's costing them more to make their way and their commutes over to the stores. They need to stock the shelves, and then they all pass it on to the consumer. And we, unfortunately, are the end consumer, right? So we get to pay for all of it. Yeah, just what I love to do. I love to be the guy holding the bag. I'm kidding. I don't. And I don't think anybody likes to be holding the bag, but unfortunately, that is where we are right now. We are the end consumer. Therefore, we suck it all up. We have to pay for all of it. So anyway, just being real with you. I hope you're not upset with me. I'm here giving you the truth. I'm here giving you what's actually going on right now. This is the reality of the matter. And unfortunately, this is the situation we're currently in. Hopefully we can get this thing turned around and go in the right direction. But realistically, it doesn't really happen that fast. Unfortunately, the inflation game and bringing all these prices down takes a very long time. Just like a train screaming down the tracks at 60, you can't just push a button and it stops. Nope, it takes a very long time to slow that sucker down, right? So, same thing's going to happen with this. So, unfortunately, we're still moving up the mountain. It's only a matter of time until we peak, but again, who knows where the peak is? Is it a 30,000-foot mountain and we're only at 20,000 feet? I don't know. Nobody knows that quite yet. But again, we'll have to see. Which, by the way, are mountains 30,000 feet tall? Honestly, I don't even know. I don't know anything about mountains, how high they are. I don't know anything. So if mountains are only like 3,000 feet high, I apologize. I'm completely ignorant when it comes to mountains. I don't have a clue. I'm actually going to look it up when I get done recording this video because I'm kind of curious now, how tall are mountains, right? So anyway, I just wanted to use that as an analogy and a quick example so that you could understand what I'm talking about here. So anyway, hope you're having a nice day so far. Thanks so much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Share the video with your friends, family, social media. And as always, go back and check out some of the other thousands of videos right here on the channel. There's a lot of great content right here on the channel. So thanks so much for being part of it. And I hope you have a nice day. I'll catch you again later in the next video. Until next time, subscribe, share, and go back and check out some of the others. All right, enjoy your day. I'll see you again later.